So it's a very, passive farming. It's what we call non-interventional farming. And when you start to realize that you don't need a tractor, you don't need chemicals, what you need is people, and you need community, and most important, you need a culture, because it's the culture that knows how to use these things. It's little old granny, she knows how to cook the jackfruit seeds, and she knows how to, use the neem flower in the rasam, and she knows how to, use the hibiscus flower in a juice. And that knowledge, that's the most fundamental knowledge there is in a society to support Annamaya Kosh. In the Upanishad, they call that the Annamaya Kosh, the sheath, the food sheath. After food sheath, there's the Pranamaya Kosh, Manamaya Kosh, which is the mind sheath. Then there is language. Language is the vehicle of a culture. If you don't have a language, where Tamil would be? Tamil is based in the language. It's communication, of philosophy, of tattvam, and knowledge. So the language is so important, but that comes from the mind. With no body, no mind, no good food, no culture. So you see, that's what's happened in England, in my country, and in America, is that there is an erosion of culture. And there's this sort of sense of who are we, what's our identity on this planet? And there is none. Just chasing after, the next thing, due to money, And you see that's India is also going in that direction. There's no doubt. But there is still an identity here. You go in the villages, there's the festivals, regular, different festivals. They might not be 2 weeks long like they used to. Maybe they're just 2 or 3 days now. But there's still this, understanding. In January, we have the Perangakai, the pumpkin. And in Adi Masam, the lunar month of Adi, in July, we have this kuru, the how do you call that? The fermented porridge, no? Kuru, the kelvarg kuru. And then we have, in Adi, in Diwali, we have this adrisan made with the foxtail millet. So these festivals are still related actually back to the land. We don't recognize it, but you go and you think about it. In Navishasham, it comes back to the Namba Bhumidevke, so where, because with the food was always a celebration. Because without that food, there was no survival, So I would say that creating a food forest, exploring all this diversity in a very practical way, it has to be good. If I give you banana flour and it doesn't taste good, you'll be like, oh, Pavi, give me Maggi noodles, You won't eat it, so it has to be good. And it is good, but it needs the culture. So the culture knows how to cook it and prepare it. So when you look at all these foods, when you look at this farm, don't think of a farm, think of a menu. This is menu. Bananas, cooking banana, chips, burgers, puril, even flour to make rotis, mango. I don't see fruits. I see pachari, green sweet chutney. I see pickles. I see floating in my sambar. And then I see fruits, And then you see the spinach, and you see passion fruit, drumsticks, drumstick flour, drumstick spinach. I see hibiscus, sundakai. I see so many foods. This is a menu. This is where the narrative is different. You're not growing food for money. You're growing food for its essential value, which is nutrition. That's the fundamental value of any food, is its nutritional value. But the irony is, if you go in that line, you'll end up with more money. Because farmer can't sell most of this thing. He can only sell it if there's farm to plate. In some way or another, there is some organization where someone is cooking these foods and there's a direct relationship, with the consumer to the farm. Okay, let's go this way. We're going to wrap up this tour now. Just try and come in so everyone can come in. If you want, someone can sit here. It's very comfortable. So if we wrap up this to wrap up this tour, I think that we can see very clearly that firstly you have to have a soil, healthy soil, and to have healthy soil you have to return organic matter. So obviously using chemicals is the first thing to stop, and then cutting branches, leaves, returning back sticks and wood and all sorts of there's the techniques to do that will change depending on topography, depending on climate, depending on demographics. But the principle of returning organic matter is pretty common, throughout the world. It happens naturally. A leaf falls, but that's what we're doing in this farm constantly. That's like the main work. Like if you caught that from this tour, really get it, you don't need to come to workshop. You would actually, the nature would show you everything that we do. It would like emerge from that health of the soil. The next thing is to plant a food forest. So you got your fruit trees, your medium duration crops, your bananas, your drumstick, all of this, pineapples. Then explore the shade tolerant crops. Like tipoli is very good in full shade. Turmeric is quite good in shade also. Mulberry comes there in the gaps. Cacao does well in the shade. There's all sorts of different layers of shade tolerance that you have to sort of explore. Then the next step is to value these plants. So the only way you can value them, the events we do, they really bring people together. Music is like an adhesive. It's people, they like to be together. It's something to do with being a human being, with dance and singing and all that. And when you couple that with food, that's your value equally as mine, then we really start to have a powerful society, and education emerges out of that. All sorts of other fundamental, values have a chance to be expressed through that. So I'd say celebration is a golden key of permaculture, along with education and coming together over eating local food. So that's basically what we're doing at Solitude Farm. If you want to see more of this work, there's a website I have called KrishnaMcKenzie.com, and along with some of my music, there's documentation on there of the work we did in this corporate in Chennai. So you can really see there's nothing, and then at the end there's like all these beautiful gardens. I mean, there's even graphs in there if you like, if that's what turns you on. A bit of a graph to illustrate how the whole thing has grown. Otherwise, I can just recommend have the lunch. The food is better than my talk. It's much more real. How to say, the talk, either you believe it or not. But when you eat the food and you go, yeah, this makes me feel good, and you realize that I can also do this, because it's just a question of breaking off a stick and plugging it in the ground. You start to feel an empowerment, and that's what we need to bring the people, because everyone's been pushed to study and study and study and become the best in the class and go to study in USA and get a big job and all that, but no one has the basic knowledge anymore of how to use tipoli, or how to make a drumstick spinach, the muringakire samba, or these simple things, or how to use the soursop leaf. How to use things, how to use the guava leaf. So that's all of this knowledge is really important to reclaim, but you do it by eating. This is the yoga of eating. So thank you so much for coming today, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, I look forward to, hopefully you can stay in touch, and we're always here. Thank you, brother. Where are you from? Okay, very good.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, if it is a kitchen garden, we don't have a big farm.
Yeah.
We have only a small kitchen.
Where?
Thousands. in nearby Kumbakonam,
Huh.
we have 1,000 feet. Square
That's
feet.
not small.
Yeah.
That's nearly a quarter acre.
Okay.
Quarter acre is what you need to sustain a family of 4.
Yeah, it's enough. Okay. So how to plant it? This is how we.
To come to the tour at 11:30.
It's okay. We will come back.
Yeah, I mean, you have to take time, really. I mean, I'm not being facetious, really.
Oh.
But all of these things is not something, it's not complicated, but you have to give time.
Okay.
You have to consecrate time to understand how to do all this and to be involved in your relationship with the land and look into your culture. I would say looking into your culture is the most important thing. Like you see what your grandma ate, and you open the back door of your garden, of your house, and you plant that thing. Because that's the thing you're going to use, like drumstick spinach,
Yeah, it is already
muringakire.
there.
So you open the door, it should be there.
Okay.
Your design of your garden should be according to your menu.
Okay.
And then you have maybe one tree. Underneath that tree you have tipali. You make that tipali stuff every week, you know. At least a rasam or something, or some kashayam, you know. And then you have something else, and papayas, because papaya you know how to make at least 6, 7, 8 dishes. You have a few of those. And then you have banana, because you're going to have banana flower, banana stem, bananas, even banana leaf. And then in between that you have a few gaps, you have some pumpkins. You have to explore the relationship of the plants, physiological.
மேலே ஹவுஸ் டாடி
You want a photo of all the 3 of you?
சாரி
Sorry?
You want a photo of
Yeah.
all the 3 of you?
ஓகே